Hey, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm Mallory Mullen, Senior Sales Executive at Goodshuffle Pro, and I am here to introduce you to Bristow Party Rentals and how they have transformed their event rental business with Goodshuffle Pro. So I'm getting a couple of things here on my screen situated so we can dive in. I also want to make sure that we cover our agenda today so we're all aligned on what our plan of action is today, and make sure that you know when to expect to see our awesome software in action. So I'm just moving a couple things around on my end, and looks like I've gotten a thumbs up from a few folks that y'all can see my screen, which is great. I invite you to ask some questions as we go throughout the webinar today. I will answer those as we go. I want to make sure that you all feel confident getting your questions answered. And if there's anything that you want to connect with after the fact, you can always reach me. I'm at mallory@goodshufflepro.com. So don't hesitate to reach out with your specific business needs. So let's get started. So one thing that's I find really helpful, I meet with businesses all day, every day, is realizing that because Goodshuffle Pro was made specifically for the events industry, a lot of you are facing similar challenges in your business. And one of the ways that Goodshuffle Pro helps event rental businesses in particular is helping automate some of the administrative time sucks and hiring challenges that folks face on a day-to-day basis. And I find this especially as businesses are in between this growth phase, right? We're a little bit more than running our event rental business out of a storage unit. Maybe we're ready to take the next step, but we're not quite to the point of where we want to take on a lot of capital investment in the business. And so, what do you do, right? How do you make your business more efficient? How do you get rid of all of the administrative time sucks? How do you do more without having to hire a bunch of staff while still helping your business grow? And that's exactly what Goodshuffle Pro was built to help with. So you're not alone. If you are a business owner, like Bristow Party Rentals, they're one of the companies that have been with us for years and years now, and it's been incredible seeing their growth. They're a family-owned party rental business out of Virginia, and we're reaching this point where we know that we want to take the next step in our business. We know we want to grow, but we're not quite sure how to do that. And they've been handling their business through calendar apps and spreadsheets and invoicing solutions and notes apps and catalogs and software for signatures on contracts and all of these great freebie solutions that were carrying their business up into a point. And you may be watching this video today, you may be listening to me thinking like, Mallory, I am running my business off of those same solutions and everything is fine. And that may be the case. That is not where a lot of the business that I talk to are. And maybe you are watching this video thinking, gosh, I'm happy now, but how am I going to grow? These solutions, these softwares are manageable for me, but what do I do, next? And a couple of the questions that often come up that are keeping business owners and operators up at night, right? Only you can answer this. You may be sitting here happy with your freebie solutions and everything is fine. More often than not, I find that there are some things that are keeping business and owners up at night. And those may be questions like, oh gosh, did I remember to collect that payment? Um, I thought we had enough chairs for the order going out on Saturday, but I'm not sure. But also, we have to pick some things up from the Smiths. So, did I do that? I wonder how the drop off at the Lawrences went. And oh gosh, here's my, 3 calls that I missed today with clients that I have to get back to. And oh my gosh, I thought I got back to Jill. She's just now calling to follow up as well. And so all of these things, your freebie solutions or your current solution may address. What I would encourage you to think about is what happens from this point forward. One, is this sustainable? Is this how you want to be running your business and living your life every day? Probably not. And if that's the case, I want to show you some of the things that Goodshuffle Pro did for Bristow Party Rentals that we can do for you as well. And so one of the things that the Bristow Party Rental team leaned into is automation. So Goodshuffle Pro offers real-time inventory management, so you know exactly what you have on hand, what is confirmed, what's pending, and you can see all of that from not only a computer, desktop, laptop, but also any of your mobile devices. So if you're at a kiddo soccer game, or you have to go be a caretaker for a parent and need to work off of a tablet, you have the flexibility to have that inventory control wherever you are. The Bristow Party team credits a lot of their success to their website integration, which we'll take a look at today. And so whether it's following up with those leads from the website, quote reminders, payment due reminders, follow up after delivery, they were identifying all of these places that a particular member of their team wasn't required for that particular touch point. The key for automation to be effective is, what can I automate without feeling impersonal, right? And something like, hey, don't forget about this quote. I sent you the invoice the other day. Did you get it? Hey, how did drop off go? Those are processes that happen in your business all the time that are perfect and ripe for automation. There are other places in your business where you want to maintain that relationship with the client, and Goodshuffle Pro offers you that flexibility. I mentioned Bristow leaning into the website integration. That is what gave them basically a 24/7 salesperson. So the way Goodshuffle Pro's website integration works is you're able to take all of your inventory, update that onto your website, and with that connection, anything that you add or change in your Goodshuffle Pro inventory automatically updates on the website, which is such a time savings. But then it allows the, other humans that Bristow is doing business with, humans that have a 9 to 5 that also are taking care of kids and parents or sisters or spouses, right? They have all of these busy lives, allowing them to see that inventory live on their site 24/7 and submit inquiries. And that is going to allow folks to mentally check that off their to-do list. Like, great, I've got this inquiry in. Our website integration is still going to give you control and final approval before a client signs and pays anything. One of the questions that I get often is businesses feeling like, Mallory, gosh, I would use an opportunity to grow if I were, 5 chairs short on a job for next Saturday. No problem. Let the website integration collect that lead. You can make the plans to make that event happen. Another thing that I would think through when it comes to like wanting that approval to follow up is, think about the seasonality in your business and how your tolerance to take off on different clients may change throughout the year. So in a really, really busy season, you may be very rigid about, this is our delivery zone, these are the places that we can do at events, and our minimum order is $500. We don't get out of bed for anything less than that. But in a slower season, maybe you'll drive a little further if the client is willing to pay. Maybe you'll do an event for, $400 instead of $500, or, $1,000 instead of $1,200. The website wish list versus a full checkout is going to give you that flexibility in the seasonality for your business. And then we want to make sure that your operations are really solid. This is a piece that I often find people want to hire folks for first, right? Is managing the inventory, putting together the pull sheet of what needs to go when and where, maybe a virtual assistant to update the calendar integration. And Goodshuffle has all of these tools. So I'd encourage you to take a closer look at Goodshuffle and what we offer before going through the expense of hiring on a additional person, even if that is just a virtual assistant, right? I was talking with a business owner today who said, gosh, the VA agency that I was going through wanted me to guarantee a minimum of 20 hours a week. And I'm not sure that I have enough business to guarantee that. And we really discovered together that, wow, she's not going to need that person now until she reaches her next revenue benchmark, which was a really exciting place to be, giving a business owner that confidence of like, nope, I've got this. Now that I have the tools, I can handle this. And here's a clear next step for me revenue wise, as far as when I get to this spot, then I know I'm ready to take this next step. So if these scenarios are resonating with you, I'd love the opportunity to continue on with me to take a closer look at Goodshuffle Pro. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at Goodshuffle through the lens of Bristow Party Rentals. We're going to take a look at their website integration. We're going to take a look at the client experience, and we're going to take a look at the backend operations. Keep in mind that anything that I show you today is going to be pretty flexible when it comes to your ability to customize different aspects of the client experience, customize your website. So just because I'm showing something one way doesn't mean that that's exactly how it has to be. So again, I encourage you to chime in the chat on our thread, or if you're watching this recording, to please, follow up with me via email, and we can dive into additional questions that you may have. So the Bristow site is, I believe, hosted on WordPress or Squarespace, one of the two. But it's important to know that the way our website integration works is you get to pick who hosts your website. You get to pick the look, the feel, the design. So you won't see two Goodshuffle Pro clients have the exact same website, have the exact same layout. There are going to be some similarities, right? There are some things that a shopping website needs to feel somewhat intuitive, somewhat familiar. You don't want something too different or too out there that is not going to, make it so that it's hard for the end client. But on the Bristow website, they have a pretty, basic homepage. They're pretty clear with their top three categories of inventory that they rent. So I could choose to go into a particular category like the chairs, or I am able to shop the inventory as a whole. They've chosen to introduce like their wish list and their steps. Again, those are all things that you can customize in your view. And then basically what we see here when we take a dive into the inventory is these are all products that pull from their Goodshuffle Pro account. So the names of these products, the pricing, the description, details, and any upsell items are all things that are set up in Goodshuffle in the back end and then updating live on their website. I love the ability for items like this to have what we call accessories. This upsell is exactly what, if you hired a salesperson, what they should be doing and offering if they're talking to clients on the phone, right? You, as the end client, are interested in this frame tent. You should also consider this. Do you want some globe lights? Do you need drums instead of stakes? Do you want sidewalls instead of open air? This is something that the website, Goodshuffle Pro's website integration does absolutely beautifully and extremely well. So clients can go through and add these items to their wish list. We make it really easy to browse. I can pop in and out of different categories and basically put together a list of all of the products and services that I want to shop for. Once I have my list of everything that I want together, I'll come in here, pick the date and time of my event, and then I'll tell the client who I am. Let's say I'm having a party for my niece, so I want to submit this. And then I would add in my address. Now, I'm not going to submit this to the Bristow team and give them false hope that I'm renting, because I am not nearby to them. But if I did submit it, what would happen is the Bristow team would receive an email notification just like this. Hey, team, Mallory submitted a new wish list for her event at her house. And when the Bristow team opened this, what we call project in Goodshuffle, they would basically have a quote, contract, and payment link ready to send. Few things I want to call your attention to. One is that the colors of this, the logo here, the colors here, the information that appears up here, all of the photos here, the information that appears here, all of this can be customized in your account. So you may not want to use the same photos, or you may not have different products, and that is totally okay. Your account can be customized to the look and feel of your business. When the inquiry comes in, I mentioned in our introduction that Goodshuffle is automatically tracking inventory, and we can see right here what that means. So I added the Beechwood folding chair to my inquiry, and what I see here is that it looks like my inquiry also competes with the Flintstones backyard barbecue. And so, or birthday party. And so what we are taking a look at here, just so you're aware, is not only Goodshuffle tracking when there's a conflict on the event itself here. So that is represented by these solid colors. But if these chairs take a while to set up, or if the event is a little bit farther outside of town, you can also account for buffer time, that's what we call it, between these events, so you don't overbook yourself. Goodshuffle will also give you the flexibility of like, man, I think I can make both of these events happen. You can always move forward by sending both the Flintstones and Corey Topanga a quote for these Beechwood chairs. And basically, whoever signs the contract first gets it first. So we minimize the risk of you overbooking while also maximizing your opportunities to make sure these items are booked. And that inventory tracking, just so you know, happens within what we call packages as well. So those could be different bundlings of items, right? In this case, I have like a boho ceiling treatment that is a bunch of different chandeliers and string lights, etc. And so we can see here that Goodshuffle is flagging, hey, you don't have enough of this particular style available. Now, in this case, I may want to mitigate the risk even further and say, gosh, I don't want to use any of these. I want to use more of this other style. What's great is this gives you the flexibility to truly tweak and customize these different packages or bundles of items based on your particular need. So just because something is set up a certain way every time doesn't mean that that has to stay that way. You'll also notice that whether it's the ceiling treatment, the frame tent, or even the propane tank that I need to bring with my outdoor heater, many of these items are grayed out, and that means that that is hidden from the client's view. Now, you may be somebody that wants to show all of the details, or you charge for the propane tank that goes with the heater. That's fine. Again, you'll customize that setup in your account so that you show the client everything that they need to show, hide everything that they don't need to see. You also have the flexibility to change your mind. So even if something by default is hidden, you could easily show that to the client if you wanted to on a particular event. There's plenty more to uncover here, but I want to get this quote out the door as fast as possible. So I'm going to go ahead and add my delivery. We've got a ton of different ways for you to charge for this. So I'm going to just go in and show the mileage rate really quickly, just because the mileage calculation is something that Goodshuffle Pro can do via a Google Maps integration. So we're actually tracking based on a route from where your items are stored to the client site and coming up with our mileage rate that way. But there's a ton of different ways to do it. So if you do things a little bit differently based on your delivery zone, based on zip codes, whatever, we can likely accommodate that. The last thing I just want to point out is the logistics. So the drop off and pickup of the item, it may be more convenient for you as a business owner to drop off the day before, pick up the day after. And so that does not have to affect the cost of the items. So I know I've heard before when folks are coming over from other solutions or shopping around that sometimes they have to choose a default like 3-day rental because otherwise the software won't take those inventory items out of inventory. And I just want you to have confidence that Goodshuffle Pro is a lot more precise. What you charge the client for here is not the only thing that drives that availability of the items. And we actually have this cool timeline down here showcasing like when we're tracking the availability of those items, both on the front and back end. All right. Enough talking. It is time to get this contract out. So I'm going to send this to my buddy Corey here. So I'm going to go ahead and send this off. And you'll see here that I've got a customized email template. I can always add, change, remove additional text to that email that goes out to Corey. And then in the background, you might have noticed that the status of the event is also updating in the background. So we're now at blue since the ball is in the client's court. We're going to put ourselves in Corey's shoes, the end client now. So we've received this email from Gibbler Event Company. And so Corey's going to receive this here. And when he goes online to view the quote, he'll notice that Gibbler Style Events has set this quote to expire on May 10th. This means that Goodshuffle will, here's the automation, automatically follow up with Corey if for some reason he doesn't sign this quote and contract right away. Now we make this super convenient for Corey. So not only is this available to take a look at in desktop, but of course we make this mobile friendly for him as well. So let's say he were to pull this up on his cell phone like this, everything is clearly organized here, can click in, see the photos of those items as well. And then to move forward, he simply approves the quote, signs the contract, and then makes his payment online. Now I have this broken up. It looks like 100% is due up front. You can of course change this to be 2 different payments if you wanted to. In fact, let's take a look at what that would look like so you can see that here. And then also the other thing to keep in mind, okay, so here we are collecting $100 deposit, and then the remaining balance will be due closer to the event date. And then you have the option to give your clients several different ways to pay online. This is going to bring more of that automation in. So of course, in this entire process, remember, it's been one link that goes out to Corey with the quote, contract, and invoice. With a lot of the freebie solutions that you may be using, those are several different steps. So we're already consolidating that for you and the client in one place. And then also giving you the option for credit card, ACH, and Affirm payments. This is all going to automatically send receipts to the client, update for you in the back end. Again, take care of more of that like paperwork so that you can focus on the higher level efforts of the business. The client could opt in to auto pay their balance. I want to give you the confidence that even if they don't opt into that auto pay, that Goodshuffle will send them billing reminders on their behalf. Once the contract has been signed and paid, as I mentioned, automatically sending copies of everything to you and the client, and this is getting updated in the back end of Goodshuffle. So you'll notice here when we're back in this view, the contract has been updated to green, good to go. The payment information, including upcoming authorization, has been tracked here, and an email will go out on that pre-authorized date reminding the client of the balance due. Our merchant service provider, Stripe, is also securely storing the credit card on file. So if something gets damaged, goes missing on the event, you'll see here that you do have access to charge the client on the file on the back end. The only thing I'll just flag for your protection is that that is spelled out in your terms and conditions. Cool. As we get closer to the event time, we're going to shift from contract and billing mode into fulfillment mode. What does fulfillment mean? That is just our way of like, hey, here's all the stuff that has to go out, get prepped, get delivered. And so we've got a lot of tools here to make this easier. For those of you that have somebody helping you with this could be a husband, this could be a warehouse manager, a crew lead, or just some part-time high schoolers over the summer helping you during a busy season. You can add someone like I have Danny Tanner into this fulfillment side without giving them access into seeing all the details of the event. So when someone like Danny signs in, or your husband, or a warehouse lead, they're only going to see the fulfillment and files tab, meaning we're stripping all of the billing information and sensitive information from their view, but they are going to see everything that they need to pull, prep, and load. And then, of course, have access to the pull sheet where folks can mark things up as they get loaded, dropped off, and picked up. Of course, this can be printed, but remember, we're thinking about all the ways that we can automate our business and take steps off of your plate. This, I would argue, is one of those places. So printing a contract for the high schoolers, even for your husband, is going to require steps on your end to get that information in their hands. And remember to keep that up to date if the client changes their mind. If I give somebody like I have here, Danny, digital access, I can rest assured that Danny is going to see all of the most up-to-date information in real time. And I don't have to bother Danny asking for status updates because all of that is going to be tracked here on the logs tab. I'm going to be able to see exactly what Danny does down to the very second. If you have folks helping you with delivery, the sign-in is going to take even more off your plate because they're going to be able to pull up what we call a receipt of goods and services. And this is going to, at drop-off, allow them to review with the client, hey, here's everything that I dropped off to you. The client reviews this and says, yep, everything went according to plan, and sign off on this. Once the client signs off on this, another automation point, Goodshuffle will send a follow-up email to the client so you can make sure that the delivery went a-okay and even ask for a review for your business. So that email can be customized, of course, whatever you want it to say, but this is an example of the email that I have sending out to my clients. When events are over with and done with, of course, we're going to need to account for any missing or damaged items. And so as I am the crew person coming to check things back in, if let's say our center poles for this tent got bent, a chair got dinged, or a table got broken, I'm going to set these items aside, which is then going to create an entire report of items that have gotten damaged or been missing over time. This is also Goodshuffle Pro, when it comes to the inventory management, is also going to flag for you if that's going to cause any problems for upcoming events by flagging that as a potential conflict. Once everything is back in and accounted for, your team will check everything back in and then close this out. And so this is going to be the visual cue for you to know that everything got back and is accounted for. This is also going to show you from a reporting perspective, everything here on the event page, make the reporting easier to say, hey, what events did we close out in the previous 7 days that were closed out or still in progress? This is going to give you that visibility. I hope this has been a really good introduction to the product. I haven't seen any questions come in via chat, which means I'm either doing my job and that you're getting all of your questions answered, or you've got individual questions that you want to reach out for. Hoping the former. The latter is okay too. So I want to invite you as a next step from here that you do have a couple of options. So we can meet one-on-one if you have some particular questions that you want to go over and take a look at for your business. We can also hook you up with a trial. So if you are like Bristow Party Rentals, you're ready to create some more automation in your business. You're ready to take that next step as far as growth in your business goes. Would love for you to get your hands on a trial of Goodshuffle. So below, this is the link to our free trial page. I will email it out to all of our attendees. And if you're interested in signing up, please email me and I'll send you the link. And it's going to give you a chance to get your hands on the product. I, of course, can click around and show you how easy this is, but I want you to have the opportunity to experience it hands-on as well. We can, of course, meet during your trial, make sure everything is feeling good, looking good, and that you can get the customization that you need for your business. And from there, Goodshuffle Pro has an onboarding team that will help not only train you, anyone else in the business, so that you can get your account set up and get a strong ROI out of Goodshuffle as well. I look forward to you taking next steps with you and connecting with you again soon.